We've seen the sneaks from the Rell movie, and we've seen a lot. We've seen swords, ship combat, we even seen the Kraken just randomly spawn out on the floor. But what is one thing that wasn't really explored to us inside the first movie? And that is just going to be islands. Now, the Rell brothers, they did show islands off inside the actual movie, but it wasn't the biggest exploration and dive deep into them, and I kind of want to dive into that today inside of this video. So before I actually start talking about it, if you are interested in the topic, or if you have your own personal opinion, please feel free to comment it, because what I personally feel like is more diverse islands on release would actually be the most important thing ever. It would make the game so much cooler, and I feel like there's a sneak that actually provides a small little look into something that we could experience. So if you actually been looking at Rell Seas, all the sneaks before the movie too, there has been one sneak that was actually going to be a flying dragon. And the thing with Rell Seas is that there actually is going to be mounts inside this game. So one of these mounts that we actually seen was literally a flying dragon. Now, what reason would you need to fly inside of a One Piece game when everything is going to be on the sea, right? Really think about that. There isn't a reason. I am here to kind of create a reason, and this is just where the theory comes in. There will probably be floating islands inside this game, and not just floating islands, but another type of island that I'm going to explain later. Now, if you watch One Piece, you would understand that there's a floating island in One Piece, like Skypiea. Like, the name of Skypiea is literally the island floating in the sky. Skypiea. So if you think about this dragon sneak, or just some of the flying sneaks in general, what reason would we need to have a flying dragon for? Yes, it would honestly be really cool, and it probably could be another way to like combat players who have airborne devil fruits like Phoenix, because the Rell brothers did actually say that mounts will be able to attack, but that would just be a useless point to just have mounts as something that you could just attack with and just go for that. I feel like it would be really nice and diverse to have islands that float inside the sky, and not just one island leaving it off to Skypiea. I personally would prefer if they don't even follow the canon One Piece and just create islands of their own stuff. Like, we could have an island floating in the sky called Rell Ati something. We could just have a whole lot of islands floating inside the sky and give an actual use to like these sneaks and mounts. And there also could be some world events inside the sky, but I'm really just going to be focusing on like islands for this video, so I could talk about that later. But another important factor that I feel like could be added to this topic is how not only islands inside the sky, we could have moving islands inside of Rell Seas. Now, if you remember, one of the important things that they shown to us was actually something with the ships. They made a script to where the person can actually constantly stick with the ship even while it's moving. Now, this is honestly one of like the hardest things to code, is what a lot of developers and even the Rell brothers made themselves, but the fact that they actually got it down means that they can apply it to anything else. Now imagine if we have a moving island kind of like Zou. So Zou, if you don't know what it is, it's an island in One Piece that is on the back of a gigantic elephant called Zunisha. And essentially Zunisha, he's just moving through the ocean with this island on his back, and a whole lot of minks and stuff just live on top of him. It's an island on top of an elephant. It is pretty crazy when you actually think about it. But just imagine if we have stuff like that in Rell Seas. Like, for example, there can be an underwater version of it where there's an island literally inside the mouth of a Kraken, and if you're able to luckily find like this whirlpool that'll lead you into the Kraken's mouth, because let's say that the Kraken's eating cycle like makes the Kraken create a whirlpool in the ocean and just like sucks in the fish, and then you end up getting sucked into it, and that's your chance to explore the island. We can have something like that. Or we could have an island on the back of a winged seagull or something, like a gigantic seagull that only stops for like, what, 2 minutes on a certain random spot inside the sea, and then you'll be able to get on top of this island. If you really think about it, they have a lot of stuff to do with this script that they just made for ships, and you can apply it to any islands, because the person won't fall off the island. You'll be able to move on it, fight on it, etc. It'll just be a whole lot of stuff, and I feel like all of this on release would honestly just create so much diversity, and it would honestly stay true to them wanting to make this game mainly more about exploration and not entirely like focused on going from point A to point B, which is something that they also emphasize inside the sneak peek. Like, just the whole topic of moving islands in general would honestly be one of the coolest things ever, and I do feel like the Rell brothers would be able to complete that because they already have the script for it. But besides that, let me actually know what you think about this topic. I really do feel like just having this and the fact that the sneaks were there for it kind of tells us that there is going to be something inside the sky, but not necessarily. So this video really is just a theory, and I don't want to like drill it into your head, oh, you should expect a flying island on release, because there probably will be one, but we don't know entirely. So besides that, if you did enjoy this video, hey, feel free to like it. Hopefully developers probably see this video if it gets like enough likes and attention, because they actually do end up watching like important videos and stuff. But thank you for watching, and let me actually know your thoughts on this idea, because I personally feel like it would be a really cool thing to implement.